Good evening, Internet. This is CFS Eurovision here, and I will need a new channel name soon. As it stands, I'm still not going to be covering the main contest in May. However, I want to keep the channel going, and I have other interests that I might cover in the future. For now, though, none of the controversy is the fault of the artists, so I may as well cover National Finals season. So, let's take a look at what's been happening in December of 2025 in National Finals. Moldova's return to the contest involves a return of a national final, this time called Selectia Nationala, because now there's no Romanian broadcaster telling Moldova you can't call it that. Just like the old Etapa Nationala, it consists of an audition phase where an indeterminable amount of songs, but usually somewhere in the 30s, are sifted through, and eventually some songs are sent through to the final by a jury. It doesn't sound messy at all. What are you talking about? Incidentally, the reason Moldova's return is classed as a return is because they withdrew from the 2025 main contest after deciding Etapa Nationala didn't produce a good enough entry to make it to the contest, becoming the first country, as far as I can tell, to withdraw because they are too bad. This year there were 39 songs, which became 38 after Dana Marchetan withdrew from the contest because her song, Cry, was exactly the same as fellow participant Katy Rain's Dance and Cry, neither of which are to be confused with Diana's Cry a River, because that's a fundamentally different song, yet somehow still just as depressed. I say the same songs because they were the exact same music and the exact same lyrics, just different vocal performances. This is technically allowed within the rules of Selectia Nationala. Indeed, Marchetan withdrew rather than being disqualified, because she didn't want to, in her words, create interpretation duels. So 39 was 38. But then 38 became 37, as Nico was disqualified for... I genuinely don't know. I researched this and I can't find anything that mentions a reason. A reason apparently wasn't reported, and I guess as of now we still don't know. Odd. But anyway, 37 songs competed, and that included, bafflingly, the annual entry by a man who goes by the initials SB, who has previously submitted songs with titles such as Married to Twins, We Changed Our Gender, and My Favorite Schoolgirl. I wish I was making that up. His entry this year was somewhat tamely titled On the Right Path. I hope he is, at least. He didn't get through, which is at least something, because he sometimes does, including last year with All Night Party. Thank goodness that final was never held. Also last year, he did another entry, yes, you're allowed to do two, which was the aforementioned We Changed Our Gender, in the music video of which he had AI-generated a version of him pretending to be a Muslim trans woman while flirting with himself. This is all true. Look it up. Or don't, actually. I probably shouldn't be encouraging you to do that. Anyway, 16 songs qualified, which is interesting because I'm sure I was told beforehand that it would be 10. But anyway, this included the aforementioned Dance and Cry by Katy Rain, Diana's other entry, Doina, previous entrants Bacho and Catalina Solomac with Tata and Pink Margarita, respectively, one of Sasha Flowers' entries titled We Fight Till the End, and fan favourites Satoshi with Viva Moldova. Viva Moldova indeed. I can say, having listened to these songs, well, some of them anyway, I don't want to throw up listening to SB's entry. that Moldova is very much Moldova-ing this year, in a way that we haven't seen for a while. When you think of Moldova, you think of things like Zdobsi Zdub's 3 entries, or the 2 by Sunstroke project. There is plenty of that level of chaos in these entries, and I am so happy they are back, even if I'm not watching the main contest this year. My favourite is indeed the aforementioned Viva Moldova, and so Satoshi is who I'll be cheering on come the final on the 17th of January. Of course, one of the crown jewels of national final season, the one we all feel kicks things off in December, is Albania's Festivali Kenges. The 4-day-long event took place once again at the Palace of Congresses in Tirana between the 17th and 20th of December 2025, with the semi-finals being held on the 17th and 18th, Nostalgia Night, where they do covers, on the 19th, and the final on the 20th. There were 18 pre-qualified entrants to the final, with only the newcomers requiring jury votes to qualify. This only left 5 in each semi-final, with 5 in total qualifying for the final, meaning a total of 23 finalists on the 20th. The 5 qualifiers were the trilingual Rigersa Loka with Albanian Heart, Sheila, who for some reason performed her song Zemra e Tokesh wearing a dead bird. Maybe bird flu precautions are more relaxed in Albania. I don't know. Giti with her song Okay, during the performance of which she appeared to be wearing handles as if you could pick her up. Saviana Vierda with the ever-catchy song title Dime per dime e vjeshte per vjeshte. I not pronounced that right at all. And Si Una by Endrik Kachachi, who appeared to have trapped some people inside their own bedsheets. Still, if those weren't good enough for you, just remember 5 songs were eliminated, which included, but were not limited to, Erand Soili, who seemed to spend, I kid you not, a whole 55 seconds just talking into the microphone, not rapping, just saying things before he actually started singing. A man named Kimmy, who lost his voice by the sounds of the opening verse and chorus, and Malvina Likai, who performed alongside 3 corpses that spontaneously reanimated themselves at seemingly random moments within the song. Anyway, the cream of the crop usually rises to the top, and that was no different here. The final was full of talent, and Gresa Jochera and Bledicasso were there as well. Seriously, their song has a 2.2 rating on EurovisionWorld. Nobody is surprised they got 0 points in that final. The other talent on display included, but was unfortunately not limited to, Kliansa Susai's Hije, in which her backing dancers did different moves to each other in a way that didn't look intentional, Camela Islamai with Pa Pretendime, where she appeared on stage with a man who seemed to have won a phone-in competition to be there as a backing dancer, Lorenz Hasrama with his song Lam Tu Mire and his leather suit, Luna Kasholi's Pa Kufi performed with a microphone that I'm sure nobody noticed and didn't look like it was impeding her at all, and Fifi and Thierry Giocchi's Ri, including Fifi's bob, which is iconic. The eventual winner, calculated through 50-50 jury televote, was Alice and his song Nan, receiving 68 points from the jury and 84 from the televote, for a total of 152. A full 50 points clear of second-placed Inis Nezeri and Takam Fai. The song itself has the required drama yet catchiness required from an Albanian Eurovision entry, and I can't get it out of my head from the first time I listened to it. Overall, from a main contest perspective, though of course I won't be covering it, this was one of the best Festivali Kengeses I can remember. El Haidardani's running of this contest has been encouraging to witness, albeit she appeared to disappear this time. But there's certainly been a change in the field of songs we get to listen to while she's been in charge. It feels a lot more like a collection of 28 songs that are competing for the crown, rather than the internal corporate love-in that kept trying to convince itself it has a semblance of cultural relevance that we got before 2024. The third and final national selection that happened in December 2025 was Montesong, which was held in RTCG Studios in Veliki Podgorica on the 21st of December. 15 songs competed, and voting was done by 50% jury, 25% Montenegrin public, and 25% international public. I may as well go through each song in order here, though, with the winner last, as if I named the same amount as I did in the others, it would basically get there. So, first, the anticlimactically surnamed Lara Boltic and Rhythm Boy, which unfortunately sounds like a song from another country that also had the word boy in the title from about 11 years ago. Then we have a man called Stefan and his song Nedeko Dirana. The song wasn't that bad, at least not as bad as its 2.0 star rating on EurovisionWorld, but the budget appeared to be a bag of chips, and the backing dancer was trying to do her best impression of Reagan from the Paris 2024 Olympics. Mila Nikic is next with Kaurvarnica, which I'm not sure how it's meant to be sung, but offbeat was certainly a new experience. Majda Bosovic with Ipak Smoljudi followed, the first half of which was in black and white with subtitles, as if it was some sort of sing-along from the 1960s. Then we had Krstinja with Oli Oli. Who is Oli? Actually, it's Montenegrin for will you. I'm telling you because I can't find anything else interesting to say about it. It's the return nobody needed, nor did anybody ask for it. Yes, that's right, it's Bariak with this year's attempt, Minerva. I preferred last year's, and that isn't an endorsement of last year's. But we did at least get to see Montenegro's best impersonator of Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. Neno Muric earned himself a 2.2 star rating on EurovisionWorld for his attempt with Ako Kuyes Glass. He did sound really happy when singing. Shame it's a serious song, or that might have added something to it. Who am I kidding? It was stupid to expect it to have something it needed. Lana saved us from that with her Dolin, which means valleys in Montenegrin. She starts off dressed as some sort of evil bride in front of a dead tree, so I think I'm justified in making the decision not to go to any of the valleys she's referring to. Durda returned, why I'll never know, with the song Dominoes. It was a bit Queen of Kings, but this was actually really enjoyable, I can't lie. I do like this song. And I'm a bit of a sucker for this type of almost sea shanty-esque music. I loved Queen of Kings. I loved Echo and Imai that was in that same selection. I loved Vibe last year, of course, though everyone loved Vibe, so that doesn't separate me from anyone. Dolce Era also came back. Finally, a return people were asking for, albeit jokingly. Her song this time was called Casanova 91. I don't know whether the lights failed, but she couldn't be seen for the first 30 seconds. Unfortunately, when the lights eventually returned to her face, it didn't make the song or performance any better. We also had a return from Andrea Demirovic with I Believe. Unfortunately, neither the juries or public believed in giving this song any points, though it did come directly after the eventual winner in the running order. She appeared in front of several projected versions of herself, which was a bit freaky and self-indulgent, but I'd have forgone that if the song didn't sound like it was created by telling ChatGPT to create an emotional ballad about self-belief. Maybe it also did the visuals. Another entry was Tina Jankic with Shadows. She sung through a mask for all of about 20 seconds before aggressively throwing it away, presumably after being reminded Sheldon Riley's mask only got him 2 points from the public. The other thing to note here was the amount of smoke, which I thought was going to engulf her at some point. Luka Radovic also turned up with his song, if you can call it that, Pievaj Vilo. Now, I have a scar in my left eye from shooting it with a Nerf gun when I was a stupid child. You can probably tell I've got something wrong with it from this video. But I have never had whatever eye problems this guy appears to have. He's also dressed like some sort of Oriental town mayor, while women with deer skulls dance around him. To be honest, as a Welshman, I thought the Mary Lloyd was invading to raid my pantry, so this one slightly scared me. And yes, that is a tradition here in the south of Wales. No, I don't know why, and I've not yet been visited, and I continually live in fear. Thank goodness it's cold and icy outside as I'm recording this, with no end in sight to the cold weather. There's a reason the hooded jacket I'm wearing is very tight. Anyway, that was a weird digression. Lana and Durda were last in the running order with Temperatura. Am I the only one who thinks that Lana has enough material on those arms to make the rest of the outfit less tight? Anyway, it takes 2 minutes of the 3 for Durda to turn up, and then do a C- vocal performance. I'm ripping it to shreds here, but this was another one I kind of enjoyed and could see being the main contest entry, but alas, that was for someone else. Someone by the name of Tamara Zivkovic, whose song Nova Zora earned 22 out of a possible 24 points, with the public for some reason preferring Rhythm Boy, God only knows why. I have to say though, I myself preferred Durda. I do like this song, it's atmospheric, it draws you in. If they can translate this to the main contest stage, it may well be able to make an impact. So, with that, we have 3 interesting national finals, one of which is still ongoing, but 2 of which have selected really interesting entries for fans to dig their teeth into. I may not be watching the contest for obvious reasons in 2026, but I can certainly appreciate interesting and innovative music when I see it, and these selections had that in bucket loads. And the next lot is only a fortnight away, with Mesk and the conclusion of Selectia Nationala happening on the 17th of January. I hope you can join me the Friday after that for a look at those. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Give this video a like, share, comment, subscribe, all those nice things. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.